All right, here we go. Woo, woo. We supposed. All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. Today is Friday. Woo. Friday, March 17th. Welcome to episode number 325 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next 45 minutes, me, you, Jenny Housley, Lee Scott Munoz, Matthew Neche, Peter Lee, Andrew Nakamura, Sean Washington, and so many others of the Simply Cyber community are going to be covering the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. We'll be talking about what it means to you, how you can operationalize it at work, how you can use it to crush a job interview. Regardless of where you are in your cyber career journey, there is going to be value for you today. Believe that. Be sure to say hi in chat. It's a very warm, welcoming company. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it was like a 12-day week this week. So looking happy to come in for a landing, call the ball for Friday. Let me take just a slug of coffee before we get into the streams. I haven't even had a sip of coffee yet. This is what I look like sans coffee, y'all. Oh, very good. All right. Now, before we get into it, thank you, everyone. B-Sec, send the wife in to pinch me. Yeah, exactly. So, good morning, everybody. It's Friday. We're going to be crushing it. Before we get into that, I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, starting with my good friend Eric Taylor at Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Guys, cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. Think of Dish Network a couple weeks ago. How do you think they felt? It's not good when you get popped, y'all. Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents, not just protecting you, right? It's cybersecurity is spelt cyber resiliency, all right? When you're in the respond and recovery phases of a cybersecurity framework, right? You want somebody who's on your side, who's been there before, who's got cycles, they've been in the trenches. Barricadecyber.com, check them out. They can definitely help you in the event of a problem. Although I strongly encourage you, talk to them in advance. It's way easier to have a civil, professional, thoughtful, deliberate conversation when you're not actively trying to put a fire out in your organization. Barricadecyber.com, website's right here. Dude, Eric Taylor is in beast mode. You can get on his calendar tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll tell you what, my 9:30 p.m., let me check my calendar right now. No, I'm busy at 9:30 p.m. Woo! I need a Friday night to just, but you know what, threat actors, they don't sleep. Also want to remind you of a good friend, Brandon Poole, over at Panoptcy. Panoptcy has a lot of information security services built on a strong foundational brain trust. But one of the services that Brandon wants me to share with you is Panoptcy's Quantified Risk Assessment. Quantified Risk Assessment allows him and his team to go into your organization, look at it logically, statistically, based on data and evidence, and actually draw up a risk assessment on, hey, here's the likelihood, not just, not just green, yellow, red. Like, you have a 24% chance of suffering a ransomware attack within the next 12 to 24 months. Okay, is that acceptable to you? With data, with quantified information, you can make more informed choices. And you know what? The business loves making informed choices. So consider a quantified risk assessment service from Panoptcy, because you know what? You do it once and you can kind of milk that risk assessment for a few years. Just saying. I mean, you'd probably want to get it revamped, but at a minimum, it's definitely good for a couple years. Typically no more than 3, because, things change a lot. Also want to say much love to XM Cyber, but we'll be talking about them a little bit later in the show at the forced mid-roll. I do want to say that every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE, so be sure to say what's up in chat. Hey, how are you? Take a screen cap if you need to. Whatever it is. Hashtag Team Replay. I love you guys. It's good to see you. I see all your comments in chat. So if you're here live, we're at 100 people. Hashtag Team Live, or just say whatever in chat. It's great to see you. Team Replay people, you know what to do. If you are on Team Replay, don't forget about the Team Replay Simply Cyber Community Challenge channel in the Discord server. You want to jump into there, get on the Simply Cyber Discord server, and get involved with that. Finally, before we get going, hello Team Hybrid for catching up with us. Welcome to the party. And hashtag Passive Observer. Every day I see at least one person step out of the shadows and into the light and say, what's up, hashtag passive observer. If you have imposter syndrome, if you want to network, if you truly want to network and you're just not sure how to, or how to, break the ice or whatever, this is a great group of people in here. Just hashtag passive observer and watch people give each other high fives and hugs. It's all about good times in here. If you're not all about good times, find a different show, to put it plainly. All right, now, I want you to sit back, relax. Joel B is in chat. Take it easy on him. Take it easy on Joel. He does a lot for the Simply Cyber community. Although I will tell you, I was giggling myself to bed last night just thinking of the new dessert at Joe Belton's ice cream shop, the Shamrock Shake. Whoever put that in chat yesterday had me going 4 hours. Happy St. Patrick's Day. From Ireland, Barry Heath, good to see you. The Shamrock shape is definitely on brand for the day too, so well-timed, everybody. All right, guys, you know what time it is. If you were here for the headlines, you're probably like, come on, Jerry, get on with it. Well, it's that time. So do me a favor. I got to pull up the story. All right, so sit back, relax. I want to remind everybody also that Neil Bridges, great friend of the Simply Cyber community, many of you know him, is doing Tea with a Hacker this morning. So maybe we can raid his stream after the daily cyber threat briefing this morning if you got time. All right, Angular. Sharice Lamb, good to see you, Sharice. Hey, Sharice Lamb. Everybody say hi to Sharice Lamb, would you please? Good morning. All right, Kimberly, Justin Gold, Alfredo, and Jeff Bately, Wayne's World. Sit back, relax, and let the top cyber news of the day wash over you in an awesome wave. See you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
Thanks, James McQuiggan.
Friday, March 17th, 2023.
Yep.
U.S. government IIS server breached via Telerik software flaw. CISA has disclosed information regarding a .NET deserialization vulnerability, CVE 2019-18935, in the Progress Telerik user interface for ASP.NET AJAX. CISA described the findings in an advisory on Wednesday, saying multiple cyber threat actors were able to exploit the flaw, which also affected the Microsoft Internet Information Services IIS web server of a federal civilian executive branch agency between November 2022 and January of this year. If exploited successfully, the vulnerability allows remote code execution. Because of this, the flaw has been rated as critical and assigned a CVSS number of 9.8. Critical Microsoft out.
All right. Couple interesting things here. All right. So here's a couple things. CISA is advising that this vulnerability on an IIS server is being breached. Now, here's a couple things. IIS is basically Microsoft's web server, right? So, and you think of I guess like Apache is a popular one, right? IIS is just another one that comes like bundled with the Microsoft server. Now, CVE 2019-18935. This is a vulnerability that was discovered in 2019. Now you might be like, wait a minute. 2019, Jerry, get on the spicy soapbox and lambaste these people for not patching their stuff. Well, hold on. Here's an interesting thing. A good practice would say, all right, take a vulnerability scanner, run it against your network, look for vulnerabilities, close them. If this one was a high or critical finding, you'd want to prioritize that, obviously. If you use a tool like XM Cyber's exposure management tool, right, and you find an attack path that has this vulnerability in it, yes. Now, here's the problem. They say in here that this vulnerability had a score of 9.8, which is significant, right, just short of 10, but it says the Telerik UI software, so the thing that was actually vulnerable to allow exploitation of the IIS server, was in a folder that was not scanned by the vulnerability scanner. So here's what I want to tell you from just a practitioner perspective, okay? And, if you know this, you know this. But, like, vulnerability scanners are not the end-all be-all. They are not the all-seeing eye, right? They're good and they help, but they're not comprehensive, right? There's things that they're configured to look for certain things, right? Is this banner grab here? Is this version here, right? And it makes informed assumptions based on what it does. Vulnerability scanners do not actively exploit boxes and then confirm that, yes, that vulnerability is there. That is not what a vulnerability scanner does, right? There are tools that do that, by the way. Check out Atomic Red Team by Red Canary, right? You can do things like that to validate the legitimacy of the presence of a vulnerability or the severity of a vulnerability. But it's just configured, okay? So this thing scanned, and dude, you could have been the most next level vulnerability manager, which, by the way, only like ChatGPT.
Shall we play?
Only ChatGPT 4 would be able to eliminate all the vulnerabilities. So, like, we've talked about this on the show before. Like, vulnerability management, you got to love that job to do it long term, because it's just, you can never clear the deck with vulnerability management. You'll always have tons and tons of open vulnerabilities, okay? But the point is, this one wouldn't have shown up, so you wouldn't have known about it, you wouldn't have addressed it. So if you are running this Progress Telerik user interface for ASP.NET Ajax, which sounds like a very niche potential grouping on IIS, be careful, patch, et cetera, et cetera. But you may want to, I can't do this on the fly right now, but you may want to validate how to determine if this Progress Telerik UI issue is present in your environment and look for that instead of trying to just scan with a vulnerability scanner. So couple interesting things wrapped up in this story by itself, right? Obviously, the obvious one is don't get hit with this yourself. It is being actively exploited, which is a temporal variable when you're doing vulnerability management. Just because something's vulnerable doesn't mean that it's exploited or that you're compromised or anything like that. But when CISA is saying that multiple threat actors are actively exploiting it, that means it needs to elevate in your risk profile. Okay, so just be careful of that. Good on CISA for promoting this. I do love their public-private sector. I've got to get an I Heart CISA emote on the channel. Absolutely.
Look, bug proof of concept shows how easy it is to exploit. Security researchers have shared technical details for exploiting a critical Microsoft Outlook vulnerability for Windows, numbered CVE 2023-23397, that allows hackers to remotely steal hashed passwords by simply receiving an email. Microsoft this week released a patch for the security flaw, but it has been exploited as a zero-day vulnerability in NTLM relay attacks since at least mid-April 2022. The issue is a privilege escalation vulnerability with a 9.8 severity rating that affects all versions of Microsoft Outlook on Windows. An attacker can use it to steal NTLM credentials by simply sending the target a malicious email. No user action is needed as exploitation occurs when Outlook is open and the reminder is triggered on the system.
All right, so a couple things in this story, and I'm going to try to show you something because John did something really cool yesterday too. Many of you saw it already, but so Microsoft has this bug. Microsoft Outlook has a bug where basically it's a zero-click bug. You send someone a calendar invite and it executes on their box. All right. It's not good. And then it sounds like a vulnerability, a patch was released, and then the patch had a 0-day in it too. This happens all the time, guys. Sadly, when there is a major issue like this, the developers race because they're being basically, hit with a stick by management to gut out there and fix it. So they just slap together a patch really quickly, and unfortunately, this patch had a 0-day in it as well. I'm trying to see NTLM, well-known abused aspect of Windows domain logins when they pass the hashes and stuff. I'm trying to see if this is Outlook specific or requiring Exchange. I don't think it requires Exchange. Yeah, it looks like Outlook. So if you run Outlook, you really should be careful. You cannot You cannot skip this. Now, there's a couple things that are going on, and I apologize in chat. Like, if you have intel on this, please comment. There's two things going on. One, my understanding is, and I don't know if it's the same exact thing or not, but you know when you get an email and it's like, bring, or you got mail back in the AOL days, right? Like there's a sound file that plays. Well, for some freaking reason, 99% of us don't change that sound effect, right? Like we literally just say, oh yeah, like, doom, doom, like, yes, I got an email. Like everybody just gets used to knowing what the sound is. Everybody knows what the sound is of a new text message, right? Bloop, right? Like there are sound effects that we have just programmed in our brain as that's what that is, okay? Well, Microsoft, in all of their glory, and this is one of those ones, guys, I'm going to flip out for a second here. This is one of those ones where like usability is over here and security is over here, or like features and usability. And we live on this slider, right? The more secure it is, the less usable and feature rich it is. And the more feature rich it is, the less secure it is. This is one of those ones where Microsoft is like, let's be over here on the feature side, when like nobody was asking for it. Nobody was asking for it, okay? Here's what can happen. Literally, Microsoft programmed Outlook to allow, I believe, the sender, okay? So fact check me on this, but Microsoft programmed Outlook so instead of playing the default sound effect that you have configured for inbound email, it can be any sound file, right? And it can be not on your local system. It can be somewhere else, which obviously allows you to call a file, ideally a sound file, but it doesn't have to be, somewhere else, which, I mean, this is how we run code on other people's machines, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. I read it a couple times in different places. What's really funny is this vulnerability was actually in yesterday's news or Wednesday's news. And I kind of like made fun of it about how like a smitten cyber love couple would whisper sweet nothings in their ears about how CVE 2023 223397. Ooh, like, oh my. Did you hear that? Like I was making jokes about it, and it actually turned out like the one I picked happened to be like this nasty, nasty thing. Now, really quickly, obviously Microsoft's addressing this right away, but John Hammond actually did a quick little video, and of course I can't find it. Is this it right here? Yeah. Check this out right here. Can we watch this on stream? Come on, John. Why can't I go full screen on you? I want to go full screen on you, John. Blah. But come on. Copy GIF address. It's GIF. All right, I can't. Whatever. I'll drop a link in chat. Basically, John has this little lab set up where he's sending himself an Outlook invite. It goes, and then boom, in the bottom right, you can see the hash get dumped. All right, I'm going to drop this in chat since watching on my screen is terrible. But there you go. If someone, if he posted this to YouTube, mods, please drop it in chat, and I'll bring it up at the mid-roll so people can enjoy it. But it's a really clean, like John Hammond, you guys should follow John Hammond anyways. He's great, but he always does a nice little POC, very, very clean POCs.
It threatens release of thousands of SpaceX blueprints. Ransomware gang Lockbit has boasted that it broke into Maximum Industries, a company that makes parts for SpaceX, and stole 3,000 proprietary schematics. The prolific cybercrime crew also mocked SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk and threatened to leak or sell the blueprints on March 20th. As for the validity of this threat, the Register points out that Lockbit is famous for claiming breaches that it hasn't actually done, such as Ion and possibly the UK's Royal Mail.
All right.
Promitai botnet.
All right, so a couple of things. One, I heard about this in circles or whatever. It seems somewhat legit. Remember, Lockbit, unfortunately, or for better or worse, Lockbit is a ransomware as a service ransomware gang. So they have affiliates, lots and lots of affiliates. And believe this, they aren't scrutinizing who they're allowing into their affiliate program, right? There's no background check. There's no like, are you a donkey or are you a good person or whatever. So Lockbit is going to get all sorts of different people, including people that are, younger or arrogant or boastful or reckless, right? So when Lockbit brags, it could be an affiliate of Lockbit, or it could be, the Lockbit brain trust. But guys, in my opinion, right? So this isn't really tinfoil hat Jerry. This is just like armchair quarterback Jerry. In my opinion, dude, if you are the ringleaders of the Lockbit ransomware gang, you're running the ransomware as a service. Those guys are printing money, basically. There's no way. Dude, if me, Cyber Munchkin, and Kimberly, and Funky Monk are all running a ridiculously lucrative business, do you think that we're going to go and rub our victim's face in the mud and be like, look at us? No, are you kidding me? No, we're going to keep printing money and keep our head down because we're not interested. We're not interested in that, right? So to me, this oozes Lockbit affiliate, and not just Lockbit affiliate, but someone who's like younger and probably had a little bit of a taste of some success and some money, and is feeling very full of themselves. Okay, whatever, like Ring hit with ransomware as well. We already talked about that. If the SpaceX plans get out, it's not great, but at the end of the day, it's not good. Okay, but at the end of the day, there is intellectual value and intellectual property, and but how many, who can do anything with the SpaceX rocket blueprints, right? There's only a few ultra wealthy people in the world who could do anything with them, and then there's a couple countries in the world that could do anything with them, right? So I'm not saying that if, just picking China out of the hat, right? So China gets access to the SpaceX rockets. What are they going to do? They're already doing other stuff. They're going to spin up a SpaceX program. Okay. Elon's goal, we don't get to use the Elon emote very often, so let me go ahead and throw Elon emote out there. Elon's goal is to get, at least himself off this planet. I think he wants to take some key individuals, but he's all about getting off this planet, right? So if a different country figures it out, I don't know if he's all right with that. But my point is, I don't know if it really does get out the SpaceX plans. What's the impact, right? Is SpaceX going to go under? Are they going to lose their market advantage? They're Blue Origin is there, but I don't know. I just don't think it's as important right now because no one can really do something with it. That's just a armchair quarterback shooting from the hip kind of thought without giving it deeper thought.
Evolves and has infected more than 10,000 systems since November. Cisco Talos researchers have reported that the Promitai botnet, that's Prometei, has infected more than 10,000 systems worldwide since November. The crypto mining botnet has a modular structure and employs multiple techniques to infect systems and evade detection. The botnet was first observed by Cisco Talos experts in July of 2020. A deep investigation on artifacts uploaded on VirusTotal allowed the experts to determine that the botnet may have been active since at least May of 2016. The experts pointed out that the malware has constantly been updated by its creators with the implementation of new modules and features. Now Talos confirms that the Promitai botnet continues to improve and exhibits new capabilities in its recent updates.
All right, Cisco Talos. You minx. You know I love a good graphic. Woo! All right. Give me a second. I gotta cool myself down here. Woo! The vapors. All right. So Promitai botnet. A couple things here. One, it's a crypto mining thing, which to me, if I was going to get into malware, I'd be all up in crypto mining and crypto jacking. Just based on my own thoughts and opinion on how I treat crypto jacking when I find it in my environments that I'm responsible for. It's less of a threat. It's almost like barnacles on a boat. Yeah, you don't want it, and it kind of slows down your streamlinedness of your boat, but you're also not stopping the boat and getting out and scraping it off, right? Now, a hole in the side of your boat, you better believe that's a urgent matter that you need to address. And that's like what ransomware is, or data exfil. Cryptojacking, barnacles. All right, so look at this. Promitai, obviously, it's well funded. They're making money off of it because they're continuing to update it. To me, it's all about execution, right? Anybody can have a good idea. Dude, everybody in chat right now probably has like 10 good ideas every single day. But it's execution that really separates, good ideas from, like great implementations, obviously, right? So like execution's the hard part. Ideas are easy. So these people are constantly working on the Promitai, the modular pieces, keeping it updated, keeping it grinding, right? They're obviously committed to this. Now, Cisco Talos has discovered it. It's been in the wild for a little while. Obviously, crypto values are going down, so they're working their butt off for less money. But just to kind of walk through this, right? PowerShell entry executes Promitai. Okay, so this first block that starts this whole thing, they've already got execution on your box. They have tricked you into running some type of macro or running some type of executable. Maybe you downloaded the TikTok invisible filter remover, right? Maybe, whatever it is, right? You're like some cracked version of Adobe Premiere. Whatever it is, they're running PowerShell on your machine. So you're already pwned when this blue square happens. SQL host is allowed through the firewall, or SQ host, excuse me, not SQL host. They create some service, I would assume, for persistence and execution. The main bot starts grinding, and then look at this. It breaks into 3 different parts. The orange one is downloading updates and modules. The gray one is a web shell, so they can easily access it if they need to. And the blue one is spreading modules, which is a functionality so they can get more Promitai bots into the compromised environment. This is pretty standard practice, nice and clean. As far as a case study goes, I like this one. This is a very clean example of malware exploitation, and then what are the objectives on goal. Kimberly knows what the objectives are.
Great cash, homie.
That's right, Randy. All right, so it's got some C2 domain generation algorithms, right? We've talked about this before. This is how they manage the C2 without it being easily detected. Like basically the threat actors are registering real domain names, but it's like blah 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 .com, right? Bot infected 155 countries, so it is pretty well spread. I also want to point out, when it infects 155 countries, that's pretty I feel like a pretty robust piece of malware. Like some people, I used to think this all the time. Some people think that like, oh, malware, it runs 100% of the time. It gets on your box, it runs. That's not the case. Malware doesn't always detonate correctly. There's many, many reasons why malware would get on your box and then fail to detonate correctly, right? Sometimes it's blind luck. Sometimes there's missing drivers. Sometimes it's permissions. Sometimes it's a honeypot. Like there's a million different reasons, okay? You can see Russia only counts for 0.31%, which I'm sure whoever's behind this, probably that's too high for them. A lot of these Eastern European-based malware, they almost have like bulletproof protection as long as they don't attack Russia, right? So they get top cover from Russia, essentially. So it's very difficult to get to these individuals, to extradite them for justice, because Russia's like, oh, no, we're looking for them. And they're really not. In fact, sometimes Russian law enforcement is actually they have people inside helping them. Go look at that's not speculation, that's fact. Go look at the Conti papers, the Conti leaks. Krebs on Security did a nice roundup of the Conti leaks from March 2022. Go look at that and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Legitimate, like actual, conversations, quote conversations from there. All right. Look for the IOCs for the Promitai, from the Promitai botnet. I'm sure Cisco Talos, which is a fantastic threat intel group, I'm sure they have IOCs that you can download. All right, guys. Let's do the mid-roll. All right, I want to thank all of you for being here. Absolutely love it, love it, love it. You guys are the best. I want to thank the sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Panoptcy, and also XM Cyber. Now, I told you I'd tell you a little bit about them earlier. Let me tell you about them right now for facts. Guys, everybody's organization's IT infrastructure, whether you're cloud, on-prem, some version of hybrid, you're going to have misconfigurations. I'll give you a hint why. You're going to have vulnerabilities from unpatched systems, mismanaged creds, overuse of credentialing, other exposures across both your on-prem and your cloud. And you can't really see them all. You can't see how an attacker would combine them. And that really is frustrating and leaves you exposed. But don't worry, XM Cyber, they introduced a new way to address this hybrid cloud exposure with their tool set, okay? So instead of looking at volumes of issues and kind of attacking them in silos, their tool XM Cyber combines an attack graph so you can get a visual representation of like where an attacker would go and how they would move laterally through your environment. And it'll allow you to proactively uncover hidden attack paths that you didn't even think of and identify security control gaps that go across the cloud and your on-prem networks. So you can actually prioritize the issues and put your organization's risk in perspective. And actually, the important thing is everybody has visibility. Everybody has visibility, right? But how do you prioritize reducing your exposure from those vulnerabilities that you see, right? This is what XM Cyber can do. So it'll help you proactively reduce your attack surface. There's massive value in that. Visit xmcyber.com and click the link in the description below, and you can get a demo of their exposure management platform. It's definitely worth it. Cyber Munchkin, let me drop in some Carls. Boom, baby, boom. All right, guys, it's Friday, which means if you want, get that newsletter. It'll be in your email Monday morning. Last chance to get in on it. simplycyber.io/newsletter. I'll write this email. Also, if you get in now, you'll have exclusive access to the first ever Threat Intel Weekly that's going to start coming starting next Wednesday. I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned for that. Now, the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Let's all take a minute and thank BSEC for picking up the baton. BSEC dropping it on LinkedIn, the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Paula Terranova with the gifted subs. Thank you so much, Paula. Guys, the Simply Cyber Community Challenge, BSEC is going to tag somebody in chat right now. If you get tagged by BSEC, go on to LinkedIn and post your story. Why are you into cybersecurity? What brought you here? What is your why? Use the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Everybody in chat, go find that post and connect with it. Comment on it. And connect with everybody that is in the comments and the original poster. This is going to slowly but surely build your professional network, and networking is so unbelievably valuable. Believe me when I tell you, you will be so happy in 6 months' time that you were part of the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. BSEC, Marcus Seiler was already tagged, BSEC. You're going to have to tag someone else. Like, Marcus confirmed that, but I'm almost positive Marcus already did it. Yeah, tag someone else. While BSEC is doing that, I want to go to Simply Cyber Community Challenge on the Discord server. Just Ben was tagged yesterday, so Just Ben, hopefully, let me know. Just Ben had to have posted on LinkedIn. I don't know if Just Ben did. We're going to have to hold him accountable. Ben may have actually dropped the ball, too. We'll have to see. So, Team Replay, go find out who Ben tagged, and we'll keep following that. Expect a stern covering if Ben did not do it on Thursday, his post, and tag someone on Friday. All right, guys. So, today was the joke of the day. Oh, by the way, this is XM Cyber. I forgot to bring up their webpage. I'm sorry. All right, so Peter Lee is on the ball. Guys, this is XM Cyber's webpage. I forgot to show it to you while we were talking about it. They are all about closing today's exposures to prevent tomorrow's attacks. It's really all about attack path, seeing the attack path, closing those exposures, prioritizing where to focus your energy and effort. Joke of the week today, my son had a performance last night. We were running around, late dinner, all these things. Unfortunately, we are sans joke of the week. I will be sure to deliver 2 next week because that's my bad. Thank you, Peter Lee, for picking up the baton. Guys, let's get back into the news, and we'll see you at the end.
Chinese and Russian hackers using Silk Loader malware to evade detection. Threat activity clusters affiliated with Chinese and Russian cybercriminal ecosystems have been observed using a new piece of malware that is designed to load Cobalt Strike onto infected machines. Dubbed Silk Loader by Finnish cybersecurity company WithSecure, the malware leverages DLL side-loading techniques to deliver commercial adversary simulation software. The development comes as improved detection capabilities against Cobalt Strike, itself a legitimate post-exploitation tool used for red team operations, is forcing threat actors to seek alternative options or concoct new ways to propagate the framework to evade detection.
All right.
Senators.
All right. So, really quick, DLL side loading is not a new technique. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but just to define DLL side loading, most software uses DLLs, dynamic link libraries, because instead of baking the same code into every piece of software, you just have one piece of code on the side, and then developers can write code and just reference that because they know that you're going to have that DLL on your computer because it's part of a standard Windows operating system. DLL sideloading is basically where a threat actor overwrites that DLL with the same file name. So then when the code that's legitimate runs and it looks at the DLL, it's going to have the same name and everything, but you're actually going to be calling malicious DLLs. That's what's up. Oh, James McQuiggan picking up the baton. Thank you, James McQuiggan. Hold on. James McQuiggan picking up the baton. I'm going to let Grayson know. Why did St. Patrick drive snakes out of Ireland? Drop it, James. He couldn't afford a plane ticket. Thank you so much.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Thank you so much, James McQuiggan, for picking up the ball. Solid assist, my friend. Solid assist. DLL acts like a class for the operating system. No. Think of it like this. Like if you've ever programmed in Python and you import a module, right? You wouldn't develop that code again. You would just import it. That's kind of like what DLLs are. They're code that is known to be on the that is known to be on the file system. And code can be written and import or reach in and pull those functions out of the DLLs. That's the deal. A DLL is basically just a portable executable file that you can't double click and run. It's like a collection of functions. That's what DLL is essentially. All right. Yep. James McQuiggan pulling from his database. Okay, guys. Here's the thing. Chinese Russian hackers using Silk Loader, Cobalt Strike. A lot of actual threat actors are pivoting away from Cobalt Strike, moving into Sliver. And a couple other post-exploitation frameworks. I can't think of the other ones right now off the top of my head. One begins with an R. But Cobalt Strike's starting to get really well-known and well-recognized. Be mindful. You can see here, it's actually forcing threat actors to seek alternative options. Exactly what I just said. Dude, here's the thing. DLL sideloading or not, you've got to be mindful of, post-exploitation frameworks on your box. Look for beaconing. Use a tool like Rita from Black Hills to identify beaconing out on your network. Use EDRs that can look for compromises. Do detection engineering to look for like LSAS proc dumps and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a detection engineer or anything like that, but you should have more of a defense in depth when it comes to your information security. This might help circumvent and get Cobalt Strike on your device, but hopefully these techniques are still being detected. You may want to look for whatever DLLs they're updating and see and do like fingerprinting on them or identify if they've been changed or whatever. This is more advanced. Just know that this is pretty standard. Threat actors do stuff like this all the time. Oh, we got a gifted sub here, Nate Weiser. Is it Nate Weiser? Hold on, let me see. Nate Wisen, my man. Thank you, Nate. With the gifted sub, pick it up.
Call on CISA to examine cybersecurity risks of Chinese consumer drones. A bipartisan group of senators is asking CISA to examine consumer drones made by a company with, quote, deep ties, end quote, to the Chinese Communist Party, warning that they could be used to spy on U.S. critical infrastructure. Several companies are in the process of expanding the use of consumer drones across the U.S. for everything from food delivery to emergency services. But U.S. Senators Mark Warner of Virginia and Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee said CISA needs to step in and reevaluate the risks associated with drones built by Shenzhen DJI Innovation Technology, a company they accuse of having links to China's government. A CISA spokesperson said it will not comment on the letter publicly and plans to respond directly to the senators.
All right, hold on a second. So the letter went to Jen Easterly. Let me know. Should I don't know if it's creepy or not. I need an opinion, an independent opinion. Should the I Heart CISA emote be like I Heart NIST, but I Heart CISA, or should it be like a headshot of Jen Easterly, like Finfrox is and like Randy Moss's is? Let me know in chat. I don't know. Like I think I'm too close to this thing because I'm always like pining about Jen Easterly, but I just love what she's doing for CISA. To me, she's CISA personified. Okay, here's the thing. Two things going on here. One, cybersecurity drones. Here's the thing. China makes really, really affordable, cheap technology, right? Webcams, IoT devices, drones. So they control the market. So Americans, among other countries, consume all of this tech and buy it. But people in positions of power in the United States, politicians and that such, are freaking out. This is why TikTok's being banned. This is why we're not sending chips over to China, right? Did I just say Japan? TikTok's being banned. No, banned, I said. Okay, so there's all this. Now, if CISA, if the senators are seeing that drones are overwhelmingly Chinese, they're identifying a problem. Here's the thing. With drones, if drones are flying here, there, and everywhere, they're going to start mapping out paths. Their concern is like, oh, if someone is doing this, if someone's doing this on a military base, we could get, intel, right? Because some of these drones have cameras, right? We'll get intel on military bases. We'll get intel on different areas. We could see where humans are and where humans are not. Like, pair this with the balloon that flew over Montana. We can start seeing things, right? So the federal politicians are basically concerned that this is just a massive, slow drip intel kind of espionage consolidation or consumption campaign, and that we should look into it. Exactly. Military bases are no drone fly zones. I agree 100%. I guess it's worth looking into, but to me, when I heard this story, and this is tinfoil hat, Jerry, okay, please. So get the tinfoil hats. I love to say that just as a disclaimer. I didn't live in the 1950s. I know I look old, but I didn't live in the 1950s. But in the 50s, there was this thing called like the Red Scare. And there was a dude named McCarthy who was a senator or something. And it was like basically like it was instead of China, it was Russia. And people were like losing their mind that like communism was going to take over. And then like people started pointing fingers at each other. And to me, this feels like the way that we're approaching China has that vibe where it's like this is just a drone that happens to be made from China. So now it's like, this is bad. Like, okay, like let's look into it. I get it, but I don't know. It just seems like every single day there's like another thing about like, anti-China ish. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see if like in a year's time it's like, Chinese American citizens are being like ousted. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. To me, maybe I'm just naive, but I don't know if like Chinese drones produce a national security concern. But we'll see what happens with it.
Care software firm ILS announces data breach affecting more than 4 million people. The sensitive healthcare data of more than 4 million people was accessed by hackers who broke into the network of Independent Living Systems, ILS, a healthcare software company based in Miami. The company has provided third-party administrative services to health plans, providers, hospitals, and pharmaceutical and medical device companies for nearly 2 decades. ILS began sending breach notification letters out on Tuesday following a July 5, 2022 cyber attack. The information at risk includes names, addresses, dates of birth, driver's license numbers, social security numbers, financial account information, and medical data such as diagnosis codes and health insurance information.
All right.
Microsoft unveiled.
Like I said, people, I'm giving a talk April 20th, healthcare specific. Didn't worry about coming up with actual use case studies way in advance. Thank you. Thank you. Last week, Zoll, medical maker, massive breach. Thank you. ILS, massive breach. Like I knew it. I hate that it's so obvious. But all right, so here we go. ILS, healthcare software company based in Miami, where the players play, right? Or is that Atlanta? Welcome to Miami welcome to Atlanta. No, I think it's Atlanta where the players play. All right, whatever. Miami. Straight cash, homie. Kimberly knows Miami. Where the heat is on, right? Isn't Miami where the heat's on? I don't know. What did Will Smith say? Here's the deal. Your privacy and security is very important to them. They will offer you identity theft protection, and they'll continue to consume your money and sell your data. I mean, they'll continue to be very serious about their vigilance of protecting your data. Right? This sucks. We're the victims. You know, I don't know what to say else about this. 4 million records. They'll get on the HHS OCR list of shame that nobody looks at, and they'll continue. Oh, here we go. Victims with 12 months of identity theft. You're the best. You're the best. And you know what? They probably won't suffer a financial penalty. You know what I mean? So like this is a ugly look for them. But at the end of the day, guys, when it comes down to what matters, straight cash, homie. Zero impact. Right? So, I mean, I hate to be so cynical, but dude, when you see it enough times, it's the norm.
AI-powered Microsoft 365 CoPilot assistant. Microsoft has announced a new assistant powered by artificial intelligence to help boost productivity across 365 apps and is currently being tested by select commercial customers.
You guys are hilarious with all the Will Smith comments.
Known as CoPilot, the new AI feature helps create and manage documents, presentations, and spreadsheets, as well as triage and reply to emails. CoPilot will be deployed on all Microsoft 365 apps, including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams, to Microsoft Viva and Power Platform. It uses the GPT-4 large multimodal model, just like the new Bing Chat, and works like a chatbot, enabling users to generate content based on prompts exchanged via a chatbot interface.
Jesus.
If you're still
all right, guys, guess what? Starting next week, the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing will be run by ChatGPT. According to this, we can create a PowerPoint with a mouse click. Doink! One click. I guess we're done here, everybody. I guess we're done. You know, whatever, dude. This thing's built on ChatGPT-4.
Shall we play a game?
Has anyone used this CoPilot thing? I mean, I'm not knocking it, right? I'm not knocking it. Dude, there's tons and tons of use cases for this AI thing. I'm actually surprised they didn't cover the story about how OpenAI actually had a red team look at this thing to see if it could take over the world. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but look for that story. That's very interesting. I read it this morning before I came on. Spoiler alert, it cannot. As of right now, ChatGPT cannot upgrade itself, and it cannot begin replicating. But anyways, they're looking at that. So guys, everybody uses the Microsoft Office solutions. Oh, I meant to say earlier, by the way, this Microsoft Outlook issue right here, this is only if you're running the FAT client, right? So if you're running Outlook in a web browser, you're not at risk. Okay. Guys, I think, you know what sucks? Like, this is really powerful and it's super cool, and I hope it really helps creativity and speed of delivery on service. But I feel like I'm too old where, like, I still do it the hard way and grind through it. So we'll see how it goes, but no surprise, dude. Microsoft spent $49 billion investing in ChatGPT. I honestly think the biggest mistake Microsoft is making is from a branding perspective. CoPilot. CoPilot doesn't say ChatGPT 4. I would call it Microsoft 365 ChatGPT 4 Copilot Assistant if it were me, just to really drive home the fact that this is the big kahuna that everybody loves. So let me know in chat. I definitely love it. We're at 8:52. We got a couple minutes. I know Neil Bridges is doing his thing over there. I'm going to jump over there in a few minutes, but I do want to do a few minutes of jaw-jacking. If you were here just for the news, 196 of you, thank you very much. I wish you all a very good weekend. We worked our butt off, guys. This week was a grind. I don't know about you guys, but this 5-day work week felt like a 12-day work week. I've got many, many things going on professionally and personally, all good things. So don't sweat on Jerry, but it's just been a long week, and it's going to be a long weekend. Got some contractors coming on Monday to do some stuff, and I got to prep it on Sunday. Have an awesome weekend. So, and if you're here just for the news, be good. I'm going to drop a link in chat really quickly for you guys if you want to go over to Neil Bridges' channel. Let me do this really quickly. Oh, thank you. BSEC is letting me know that John Hammond did not post that Outlook thing. So go on to John Hammond's Twitter account and look at that video. If you do go over to Tea with a Hacker, drop a hashtag #SimplyCyber in chat. Let Neil know that you're coming over from the channel. I'm going to be over there in about 6 minutes, but I do want to spend a few minutes jaw-jacking with the community. Have a great one, Andrew Nakamura. Sorry, I just got like buffer overflowed in my brain. Liam, good to see you. Orientation week, go crush it. Yeah, heading to Atlanta tomorrow. Careful, Alicia. Atlanta's where the players play. I do love Atlanta. Outcast is one of my favorite all-time groups. Top 10. Top 10. How do you keep it all straight? AI taking over. We're doomed. I don't...
Shall we play a game?
Have a pint today. You got it, James McQuiggan. Love it, love it, love it. Gonna have a nice... I don't know what I would have. Technically, I should have a Guinness, but I feel like any Irish stout would work. Green Beer Day. Ugh, Paul. That's an alert. Yeah, a Quantified. Very good. Love it. Stepping in the shower. Enjoy your weekend. Take it easy, Marcus. Oh, I want to tell you all. Peter Lee is Simply Cyber Community Challenge. It looks like Ben tagged Jess Bishop in chat. Nice. Outcast is Kimberly's top 3. Love it. B-Sex getting into the hard booze. Yikes. Get into that sauce. Careful driving tonight. A lot of rookies out there driving tonight. It's not as bad as New Year's Eve, but still a lot of donkeys who don't know how to drink. Don't know how to drink and drive. Ooh. You know what I mean. Still stuck on the Protomen albums? Oh, yeah, Ben. Protomen is so good. You have to listen to it a few times. It's a rock opera. There's a story being told. Joel B. with the Blue Moon and Guinness. Eric Silverman in the house. Jess Bishop has a great story. Yes, she does. Jess Bishop is awesome. Thanks, Ben. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I was told at our Irish restaurant they don't do green beer. Midori. So I come from New England, and it's very common to have, especially like Massachusetts, there's a strong Irish presence. So public houses, they don't have those where I live now. Like public houses, if you guys have ever been to a public house, you know what I'm talking about. It's like dark. It's dark, and it's lots of wood, and usually like huge bars, green walls. I love public houses. You can always make a friend at a public house. Thank you, MC Two Piece. Have a great weekend. Have a great St. Patrick's Day. Any news on the new course you're working on? No, Shuttle Crab, you're good. The new course is still working, but I had a piece of work that came in that's like under top secret. That basically a piece of work came in that I'm getting paid for, like commissioned work, to build a course. So I stopped working on Cyber 101, and I'm building this course right now because I'm being paid handsomely to build this course. So, but that should be out, and like I can't tell you any more about it, but I will tell you that you'll all be able to take it without any issues. Did it Patty's Day outing with the family yesterday? Very nice, Midori. Bennigan's was the place when I was younger. That's right. Emilio Garcia, Swift Hiberian Lounge, best Guinness in New York City. Well, there's a plug. Go check out the Swift Hiberian Lounge. KevTech IT support. When we were doing an Of Things Day, now that you have been playing with IoT hacking, we can team a fun hour. Yeah, that'd be fun, Paul. Is your new training for New Kali Linux? No, Midori. Nope. I can't disclose. I can't talk about it. But it's not Kali. Any updates on Eric Capuano's SOC lab? Yes, actually. So Harish asks, Eric Capuano's SOC lab. I got news for you guys. This is a big one. This is why you stay for the jaw jacking. Yesterday, I filmed. I went through the entire lab, downloading VMware, downloading Windows VM, Ubuntu, setting up, basically taking all the security off the Windows machine, installing Bishop Fox's C2 Sliver framework, installing Lima Charlie EDR, reporting in, throwing LSS proc dumps, writing detection rules, and I even webhooked the detection to alert. So I filmed all of that. So I have the entire raw A-roll. I reached out to Eric Capuano and I said, hey, man, check this out. I've done all this. How about I splice it all together and then you and I do a video with a voiceover where I show students or viewers exactly how to build this and what it looks like, and then we cover it together. So like it'll be like, here, do this, this, and this. Click this, this, and this. This is what it looks like here, here, and here.
Where Kubernetes fits into your secure.
Right? And then pause, and Eric's gonna comment on additional things, additional value, why you're doing it, what's going on. It's going to be bananas, okay? So you're gonna get all the hands-on stuff with visual walkthrough, and you're going to have Eric Capuano, the brain behind the lab, explaining to you in greater detail every aspect of it. I'm very excited about it. Yeah, it's going to be good. All right, guys. Hey, guess what? It's that time. Here is Neil. Oh, I got to watch a commercial first. Not interested in a commercial, but I get it. I get it. All right, guys. So if you want to keep the train going, head on over to Neil Bridges' Cyber and Security. I'm going to drop a link in chat right now. And if you are here just for the news, thank you very much. I'll see you guys all on Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Be good, and until next time, stay secure.